maybe give a little bit of the behind the scenes of how I do parent-teacher feedback with VIP Kid. I'm not saying that I'm an expert or that my way is the best way. I'm just sharing what I do. So I take notes throughout class about vocabulary, about what option they chose, about what rewards they got. And in this column over here, I write things that they tell me that they like. He told me his favorite animal was a tiger. His favorite color is blue. He enjoys playing piano. He likes playing soccer. These are this is the name of the student. This is what the lesson was about. If they tell me their age, I put that there too. Some of the vocab words, some of the sight words, and what option they chose and what their prize was. So what I do is, for the first few sentences, I always say how the student did, and I try to use some of this vocabulary, whether the student was attentive, engaged, motivated, responsive, studious, confident, bright, focused, alert, enthusiastic, on task, or participated actively. I try to use those vocabulary words in the first sentence, talking about how the student did. So I'm not just saying good job, good job, good job, the student did a good job, because I have regulars that I've taught like 20 plus times, and I don't want every feedback to look the same. So I want to tell them how they did and use descriptive words, right? Then I talk about their prize. They got 5 stars and 11 Pokemon today. And then I tell, what I learned about the student, and then today's lesson was about movements. This is all that I put in the teacher-to-teacher feedback. And I only put my teacher initials down here. Okay, so then I will continue to write here about, what the lesson was about. And, if the student struggled with something, sometimes I'll mention it. But for the most part, I talk about vocabulary words and sight words and stuff, and what option they chose. Oh yeah, usually in the teacher-to-teacher, I share what option they chose as well. And then I always finish with, thank you for choosing me as your teacher. I hope to teach your student again soon. Please consider leaving 5 apples with your parent feedback. Respectfully, teacher Evelyn. I'll show you that in 1 second. Okay, so this is what I put. Thank you for choosing me as your teacher. I hope to teach Brent again soon. Please consider leaving 5 apples with your parent feedback. I don't always ask for feedback. I just do if I feel like it. Some people use Feedback Panda, and some people are big advocates for Feedback Panda. I will never speak bad of it because I've never used it, but I'm cheap. It's $10 a month. I would rather write my own feedback. Also right here, my student was on level and he tried his best and he did well. If I corrected him, he repeated me correctly, so therefore he gets an A+ for effort. I only ever give a lower score if the student is not on the correct level or if the student absolutely refused to participate. But for the most part, I can get my kids to participate by getting them on track just with my teaching style. So that's what I do. So a way of saving time is just the first few sentences that you write be what you're also going to put in your teacher-to-teacher. A lot of times people say, oh my goodness, why did I get this big long teacher-to-teacher? I don't want to know what the lesson was all about. I don't want to know the vocabulary. I just want to know how the student did, or maybe some special things about the student, or maybe what reward was given. So that's just what I leave, or what option they chose. So that's what the teachers want to know. The teachers want to know, how did the student behave? What reward did you give? What were some special things you learned about the student, his personality or whatever? And what was the lesson about? Just real quick, not all the details. And what option did he choose? Over here with the parents, I'm telling them all the vocabulary words and stuff, but I don't need to tell that to the future teachers because they could care less. So that's just my 2 cents about that. That's how I do it. Everybody does it different, but that's my 2 cents.